Hey, home theater nerds, welcome to the Bright Side Home Theater Podcast. The Home Theater Podcast, it's all about the experiences, the sights,
the sounds,
the scenes.
I thought you forgot your line for a second, DJ. I was like, is it my turn? Like, am I supposed to start this?
No. Yeah, I can't wait to see that back. Because you know those things, like when you forget what you wanted to do or the order of sequence and like you start to panic in your head. Yeah. And it's only like a second and a half, but you're like, oh God, dead air. And it's just like, I can't wait to see it back and me just like, I
thought I was like, maybe I'm supposed to go.
Yeah, I was like, I just thought of it like we were just messing around with the sounder buttons before we started, and like an idiot, I just forgot the sequence of what you have to do: hit button, then speak. And I was like, should I speak then hit button? No, I got to hit button then speak. That's what was going through my head. But all the while, I'm doing that while going, hey, home theater nerds, hit button and then. I'm not cut out for this crap. I'm out. I can't get complicated right now. This is ridiculous. So, Steve, how you feeling, buddy?
With my hands. No, I mean, in terms of, I am better, fellas, believe it or not, contrary to how I may sound. A lot better than last week. I think I had COVID. I think I said to you guys, I know I said to John, I can't be sure because the tests that we had in the house are 18 months out of date. So I think it was COVID. We lost sense of taste and appetite and smell and everything else, and it was vile. But yeah, that's passed. Not coughing as much, and now unfortunately just left with a very croaky voice, which is tricky when you communicate for a living.
Yeah.
So but no, I'm much better now. Thanks, guys, and thanks for checking in with me on over the week. I appreciate that. It's been okay. The good news is I have been able to spend more time than usual in the cinema room. Yeah. So I've been able to watch plenty of stuff. Yeah. And so I was saying to you guys before coming on air, feeling sorry for myself at certain times, but generally all good.
Nice. Yeah, I got a little bit of extra time this week in my theater, so I put together a little, I guess you'd call a marathon, but we'll see. Speaking of which, yesterday was like Marathon Monday here, but that was just a happy coincidence. Didn't even think of that, but yeah. So glad you're feeling better. I heard that same weekend you started to get it, and yours lasted well all the way through the show and everything. I had it that weekend, and it was only a few days.
Yeah, it was basically lockdown for over a week. I mean, I barely left the house.
Yeah.
It was really, really tricky. I wish it had sort of come and gone, but it's going around here. I mean, there's loads of people who've got it, and just, it just seems to stick around, which is very unwelcome. Yeah. But never mind.
Exactly.
On the back side of it now, thank goodness. So all good. I made it to the dawn, and hopefully it will stay that way.
There you go. All right. And
there are no visits from JD Vance scheduled, so I should be okay.
I knew that joke was coming somewhere, somehow.
I was just thinking about it in my head too.
Should be good. We put off the state visit. I should make it till next week.
There you go. Yeah, and you're not 88.
Yeah. So true. As far as I know. Although sometimes last week I felt it.
Yeah. Did you happen to hear in your downtime? Did you happen to hear last week's Takeover Tuesday?
No. I heard some of it, and I've heard over an hour of you and Todd today as well.
Okay.
Because I know you said about this answer, didn't you? To the question.
Yeah.
But I didn't have time to find where it was, and I haven't had a chance to listen to it all. So go on. You're gonna have to put us all out of our misery, Teach.
Oh no. Oh, no, I don't, because I want you to hear it. I want you to hear it, and then because you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Put it this, I'll give you a hint. It would be like, it's not. This isn't the answer, but it would be like if somebody answered the question perfectly. What would, like, for Carl Ellsworth, right? You'd be like, what could it be? And like, Carl, what's that thing? And you'd be like, oh my God. I'd be like, oh, Carl, you got to hear this, right? Well, Steve, this is for you. I mean, you'll hear it and you'll be like,
is it Evil Dead Rise?
No, even better. So, even better for you.
I will do it. I promise.
Yep.
Promise.
Yeah. Okay. You got homework. Yeah. I know you had a week off. It's like when you were homesick from school, right, John? And somebody came home, like your sister or something had to come home with your work, and they pile of books, folders and papers, and you'd be like, yeah, just get this done before you get back. Oh. Yeah. This is what you missed. Oh no! So hopefully this is a little better.
I'm going to listen tomorrow. In that case, like I said, I listened to an hour of Todd. I had a long drive this morning. Listen to that, but which is very cool.
I listened to that too. I always listen to the shows, like just the first 5 minutes, just to check the audio, see if I can, if I screwed anything up or something, right? And next thing I knew, I got to I had a long commute this morning too. I'm driving further. This is my further drive. And that was yesterday actually. And I'm listening and no, it was today. And I was like working away. And next thing you know, I'm like, I'm still listening. I just like listening to Todd. It's like, I knew the question. He has a lot of good information. So I just kept listening. I'm like, I know. What am I doing? I was just sitting there listening to him. So, yeah, it was a good one. That was a good one.
Todd, who decided to wait until he was halfway across the Atlantic before DMing me and telling me, oh, Steve, I meant to reach out to you to meet in London.
Yeah.
But I just ran out of time. I was like, now you tell me, Todd.
Well, you heard how it was for him, like when he was there. He wasn't expecting to be there, and then the whole thing when Meridians hopped. They're like, okay, let's go right in the middle of the night. So it was like, I mean, that's his schedule all the time, right? It's like every time I run into him, or I have the opportunity to run into him, it's like, he's like, nope, got to do this, got to go here, got to go there. I was like, all right, yeah, so.
It would have been my chance to thank him in person for the candy care package that I've never forgotten.
Yeah.
It would have been very cool. But yes, never mind. But yeah, those rooms sound amazing, especially that L Acoustics one.
Yes.
Where you can pipe in noise from outside and all this kind of stuff. I'd play around in that all day. Yeah,
the ambient sounds and stuff. You're like, how does it sound? And then it goes away, and then honestly, I like the idea I came up with. I'm sure somebody's working on it. It's not my idea. My idea is floor speakers. All right. I'm going to own that one. If that ever comes to, I'm going to be like, hey, I want credit. It's like, but no, the noise cancellation, right? Like that's how headphones work. So if you have a system like that, it can cancel out the noise on the outside of the house, or maybe even if you tune it to the frequency of a person in the house that's annoying you at the time, you're like,
but if you can mess with that, bring in noise from outside, as well as cancel it. I mean, the opportunities are endless.
Yeah,
I just think it's fascinating. Like I said, I play around with that all day. You got the little iPad thing that he talked about, and you can mess around with that.
Yeah.
I'd just leave me there. I'd be fine.
Yeah, and he said, like, what was it? It was it L Acoustics? He said it's going to be out here. That's going to be out here, though. He said they're down south, so he's going to be heading there. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, wowzers.
Hopefully, I'll get to head down there. So we will see. But yep. And next week's Takeover Tuesday is with the HT guys for their 20th anniversary. So I recorded with them. Yeah, I recorded with them yesterday. That was a lot of fun. So
remind me to ask about one of them off air, Deej.
Sure.
Obviously, last time we spoke about them.
Yeah.
We obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
Be nice to catch up on that. I kept meaning to ask you a while back, but I forgot. So
yeah.
We'll should catch up off air about that.
Sounds good. You want to get to what do we got? Do we have anything else? Steve, you've been gone 2 weeks. Do you have any interesting questions? That's the one thing John and I kind of missed last week. We had
in fairness.
What are we going to argue about?
How to perform an emergency tracheotomy. And I've absolutely had enough of the fact that I can't feel my throat.
Swiss Army knife and a straw. I saw that MacGyver episode.
Yeah. Pen.
Yeah, pen.
But no, nothing particularly has leapt to mind. As I said, I've been focused on other things of late. But no, nothing particular, guys. I haven't prepared anything. Nothing much has happened.
It's always best. Yeah, it's always best when it's off the cuff.
Yeah. But it's usually when I'm driving, something occurs to me. But no, there's not been any controversy this week. Nothing in particular. But
I'm sure I'll spark
again,
something.
you know what I would say though, and what did occur to me, and it's something we have talked about on the show, and I don't want to tub thump too much, but again, aren't we lucky to have these theatre systems? Because when you are feeling lower than a mole's rectum, as occasionally happens, isn't it nice to be able to escape into a world where you then feel better? You know, where you just take your mind off it for a couple of hours. Movies are unique in that kind of thing, I think. And so, because with a book, you know, that can be hard to find a space to sit down and kind of really engage with it. And also then I think you're engaging more of your faculties when you're reading.
Yeah.
But when you escape into, and it doesn't have to be your own theatre room, it can be a lounge, you know, but anyway, the ability to have these systems that can just take your mind off it for a couple of hours or more, if it's a really long film, is just very, very cool. And I've been very, very grateful for that over the past week. And, you know, a couple of times just feeling absolutely rough as anything. Yeah. On goes the movie, you're transported, and suddenly things aren't quite so bad. So, that has been very cool. And I know we've talked about it before, but it doesn't change. It's still great. So, yeah, it's been very, very handy this week in particular.
Like I said, I don't know if you heard in last week's show when I was talking about like the week before how I, like, you know, because of my head, I went down, you know, literally went down. After I hung up with you guys, I went into my theater, everything off, and sat in there in the dark for over an hour, just like it, like pitch black. And I had recorded with Todd the day before, and we had talked about that, the room where like you go in the room and you can't see your hand in front of your face, and that's what it was like in the theater. It's like there's no windows, there's no, and you're just like, all right, this is cool. Like, so like nothing on in the room was actually, you know, medicinal as well. So that worked. Yeah. It's pretty expensive to not have anything on in there. I wouldn't recommend that route, but you know, if need be, it's there.
When you say you had nothing on, I mean, you're talking naked as well. I mean,
doesn't matter. There's no light.
What are you watching? No, but no, it's just. But we are lucky, and I think we do ourselves a disservice to not stop every once in a while and think, aren't we lucky to have this? You know, because it really does take your mind off these things. You know, I think anyway. So yeah, it's definitely been nice to have a happy place right there. And of course, a lot of people will say commercial theatre, you know, those people that have, you know, the cards so they can go as many times as they like in a month. So they may not have a home theatre and they just go to a commercial one. Well, you can't do that when you're hacking your guts up. Right. When you know, you can barely put one foot in front of the other. But we can, because we're the ones in control. We're the masters of our destiny. Yeah. So aren't we lucky again that we can just do that? You know, it's so cool.
Oh yeah.
Really good.
I mean, that's what it's all about, though. It's the passion to put the thing together, whether you put it together yourself or you had the idea or you wanted it and you got it. And it's like, but like I said, it's technology and art merging together, and then you get to sit there and have the advantage of it. And I think all the filmmakers and everybody involved with these, I think that's why this market is so fun. Is that, I mean, it is being promoted by, you know, you hear Scorsese and stuff talking about and different things on like filmmaker mode and like, you know, the artists, they want us to have these things because we're the ones enjoying the art the way it should be, you know, to the best of our ability, at least, you know, as opposed to, I mean, you know, what we've all talked about here, watching, you know, Star Wars on a 4x3 television in your living room as a little kid. And just being like, we were happy we had it because we didn't know any better. But now it's like with everything available to us, you know, like let's get the best that we can possibly do. And that's something different for everybody. But yeah, you're right. It's like, I mean, every now and then you have to stop and, you know, smell a rose and go, oh yeah, Look how lucky we are. Look at what we got.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So, yep.
Paul just says in the chat, I just want to acknowledge this. So Paul says, last couple of weeks, my dad was with us. I took him to see Endgame. I never thought he'd be able to sit through all 3 hours, but he did. And the credits and the Far From Home trailer. So great to finish the Infinity Saga with my lifetime movie buddy.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
awesome.
Paul,
see, now I can just, blame the frog in my throat is the illness.
Yeah.
It's not the tear in the eye and,
Yeah, that's awesome.
No,
yep.
man. It is unique. It is unique. But as I said, home theater, though, in particular, because you can watch that whenever, no matter how you're feeling. But commercial stuff, you've got to, where you should be respectful of others. Shouldn't go if you're coughing your guts. Well, you shouldn't do it anyway if you think you've got COVID, because that's not cool. So yeah, it's been awesome this week being able to do that. Just watch my cares away.
Yeah. There we go. All right, let's get to some of those cares in a little bit.
Should I quickly say hi to the chat?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Let's. Now that you're back, I can organize some pictures and listen to you scroll through the chat.
Yeah. My unending mouth is
the dulcet tones. Steve
threatening to end at any moment.
Yeah.
I did laugh when I heard that, DJ.
I
nearly crashed the car. I was laughing myself.
I was hoping I'd cheer you up.
Yeah, oh man, that was funny. Okay, so Paul, we know is in the chat. Hey, Paul.
Yeah.
TSG was in. I don't know if he's still in. A local boy. Steve Att is in the chat. Mikey Schramm's in. Hey, Mike. We've got that girl, Sophia. So Sophia's changed her name again.
This changed it again.
Time, I swear.
Hi, Sophia. Yeah. She was in at 4:30. Look at her.
Should she be at school?
No, vacation week.
Oh,
they'd be home by that time anyway. They'd be home that time anyways. But yeah, this is a vacation week for the kids here.
So, AC3, Captain AC3's in. Marcus Beeb's in. Hey, Marcus. Jordan's in. Hey, Jordan. Rach is in, of course. Hey, Rach. Dom's in. Bonsoir, Dom. And who else have we got? Sliding on down. Scruffy's in. Hey, Scruffy. Jordan. Jan Hextra's in. Hey, Jan. How you doing, buddy?
Hi, Jan.
TSG says, yep, still here. So there you go. That's, everyone present and correct.
Yeah.
The congregation is assembled.
Yeah. And Paul started the chat, or at least the first one up for me. He says, just stopping by to agree with Todd that Downfall is an amazing film. That was in today's Takeover Tuesday. And yeah, I think I bought it during that show.
You've got it on your wall from Kaleidoscape, I noticed.
Yeah, on Kaleidoscape, yeah. And I'm actually about 3/4 of the way through it. And then I got sidetracked. It is a long film, so I wasn't able to go all the way through. And then I got sidetracked. But it is. I'll have it for next week. But it is really good for home theater wise.
It's a long film. It's sort of between 1938 and 1945, really.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, it is really, it's all in German and stuff. So I was like, but it's
is it 4K?
No, I don't believe it was. I don't think it. Let me look. Let me see what I have it.
I thought I'd seen somewhere there was a 4K version in Germany. So that's what made me wonder. Have you seen it, John?
No.
No.
You'll have seen the memes on social media. You know, the one with Hitler in his bunker and he's talking to his generals and they change the subtitles. That's from Downfall. That's where that comes from.
Yeah.
Famously.
It's only in HD on Kaleidoscape.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. There is a 4K version in Germany, but I don't think the subtitles are on it. I think it's only in German, which is, and my German's not that good.
Yeah.
So I do need the subtitles, but I'm hoping sooner or later we'll get a 4K version. But it's worth checking out, fellas. If you haven't seen it, John.
Yeah, the audio on it is really, really good. Yeah, it is really good. Like you get. I'll talk about next week, but yeah, it is really good.
Yeah, Bruno Ganz is the actor that plays Hitler, and he's incredible in the role.
Yeah,
the little ticks, the little facial ticks, and the hand movements and everything. Absolutely incredible.
The handshake,
hopefully hasn't been ruined by the memes. It might have been. I'd seen it before the memes, luckily. But it's really, really good. and I mean, at times quite hard to watch. You know, it is quite truthful in terms of what happened.
Oh my God.
So it is quite difficult in terms of how it all resolves. But very, very good. Very good.
Yeah.
I won't spoil it, Deej. Doesn't end
well. Don't spoil the ending. I want to see what happens.
Doesn't end well for one of the main characters. So I've heard.
Yeah. No, don't tell me. I thought he was going to make it. I was rooting for him.
Oh dear.
Come on, he's just misunderstood. Jeez. Oh,
I was
boy.
born in Dusseldorf, and that is why they call me Rolf.
All right. So can we open with, did you guys see this episode 2?
No.
You haven't seen it?
I mean, I know what happens,
Yeah,
but I haven't seen it yet. No.
Oh, okay.
I haven't been able to catch up with this week's episode.
Oh, okay. Did you see it, Steve?
It's what we've been waiting for, John.
Yeah, I know that it happened because I've been on social media, unfortunately.
It's been spoiled everywhere, isn't it?
It's and I
outrageous.
Knew a year ago that it was going to happen. So
yeah, I knew when I played the game.
Yeah.
And twice.
Have you seen it, Steve?
I haven't seen it because it's been all over social media.
Well,
So I can wait. Sorry, go on, bug it on screen. Sorry. So
yeah, like that's I don't think we've even said what we're talking about yet. Episode 2, season 2, The Last of Us is what we were talking about. I have seen it. my two esteemed co-hosts have not.
I've experienced
but they know
it twice.
But I could tell you, like, I really want to talk about the home theater experience of it, though. It is really good.
Yeah,
it is really good. I don't know if you heard John and I talking last week. Like, episode 1 of season 2 was like, more dramatic. A little bit more drama, not a lot of action. This was incredible. I mean, I'm not spoiling anything. It's like you're gonna have so much fun in your theater with this one. It's the picture on it, it's kind of cool. It's the opposite of it's similar to like the Longest Night, whatever it was, episode 3, season 8 of Game of Thrones. Yeah, was it Long Night or something like that? And how that was all dark, and it was like, that's gonna test your calibration and everything. Well, this is in the opposite direction. Okay, it's a snowstorm. So it's like it's hard to see, it's hard to everything. It's like and just the action and then the drama of it too. It's awesome. It is an awesome episode. The picture is awesome. See the gradations, they go inside, you go outside. When you're outside, you feel like you're in the storm. I guess watch it all the way through. The time on it is like 1 hour and 10 minutes, but the actual episode's only like 50 minutes, and they do a making of the episode at the end. That's definitely worth checking out. They actually filmed this in a blizzard, so it was it wasn't like snow machines. They were like, hey, we got a blizzard, shoot,
right?
So but yeah, it is really, really good. And like, I had heard you guys talking before, and I'd heard other people talking, like, stuff's going to happen that sets up the rest of the season and everything. And it is just excellent. And the audio, so good too.
And in terms
your room comes alive.
In terms of what's depicted and what happens, you haven't seen anything yet. As much as the ending of the last one sets this next bit in motion, the cycle of violence and retribution has only just begun.
Yeah.
This leads it to the next
It's
bit.
Awesome.
It becomes just incredibly brutal and graphic as it goes on.
Yeah.
It just gets more and more and more as these two women vie to get their revenge on one another. And just will. So it's I mean, and how I've seen it play out is exactly like it does in the game. So it looks great. Cool. I'm quite happy because I know I've only replayed this through within the last year when they did a remastered version of the game for the PS5. Right. So I'm happy to just wait now. I'm not going to see this single disc. I don't need to see this until it comes out every year because as I said, I've only recently played it through.
Right.
So I'm happy to wait and see.
Well, you don't worry about spoilers because
Well, that's it. There's nothing. There's nothing coming in this that I don't know because there's nothing more. They're not going to be able to go any more graphic than the game. And so all the major character beats, all the major character deaths, and all that stuff, I know exactly where they're going with it.
Yeah.
So I can wait and I'll be fine. But there has become, particularly this week, a cottage industry in spoiling this.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's everywhere. It's all over Twitter. There's no attempt at kind of spoiler alert. It's just everywhere.
Yeah.
So and unfortunately, that's every show now too. It's not even just this. Man. It's like you can't even. As soon as the show's over, it's spoiled. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you can't even like pick up your phone or go anywhere without.
Well, it's. If you don't want something spoiled nowadays, I really think it's on you. You can't depend on other people because it's like, don't go on social media or get to see, especially stuff like this where it comes out on Sunday night.
Because even if like I'll go to the trouble of even muting, like I've got The Last of Us muted on social media.
Yeah.
But still something even if you're not.
Right. They'll say a character name.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, oh.
You still just know.
Yeah.
Like, and it's, I don't know. Like I said, I know some people, and it's not even, I understand sometimes like the fan sites or the news sites, because they're trying to get clicks and they make money that way. But a lot of other people, it's just people. It's just random people that have no real stake in the game. Like, I don't know. I have never watched a single piece of media in my entire life. And when it finished, my first instinct was to go tweet about it online or, you know what I mean? It's just
retweet a clip of it.
Yeah. It's just not my, it never has entered my mind that, let me go spoil this for the world because I watched it.
But John, not everybody has, a world-renowned podcast heard by tens of people.
I get it,
So your voice is out there.
I get it. Yeah, I mean, we are the privileged few, but I don't know.
People are just trying to be like us, get their name out there.
It's just never been an inkling that I've had or a desire that I've had to just,
Yeah, these bloody podcasts talking about Patrick Stewart and I think that's outrageous.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing too. How many times on the show have we said like the movie or the whatever, the promotion of the movie itself spoils things?
Yeah.
Like what was it, Abigail? And we're like, if you had promoted that differently, it would have meant so much more to everybody. Right.
Yeah,
and it's like, and I know it would because I'd seen it with people that didn't know about it at all. They didn't know the promotion and they're like, oh my God. Yeah. Like, that was awesome. And I was like, and I was the whole way through going, I wish I didn't know. Right. I'm like, this is cool.
Well, even with
it looked like they filmed it in a way they didn't want to tell you.
I wish I hadn't known for a year what was going to happen,
Yeah.
But it was that. It was as soon as season 1 ended, some off on Twitter or whatever. It was like, wait till season 2, episode 1 or whatever, when blah, blah, blah happens. And, I was like, thanks.
Rich Keefe.
We haven't all played the game.
Rich Keefe had one with, I think it was Infinity War. He wasn't able to see it like on the first 2 days. And one of his, I think it was like a good friend from high school, texted him or something and told him a spoiler. And I think it was like a couple of years before he talked to him again.
Yeah, because it's just bogus,
what
man.
It's doing?
It's like, don't do that, man.
Yeah. It's
like, not everybody can sit down. Like, again, I watch things with my wife, and sometimes she is at work or she falls asleep or whatever, she works hard. Like, she is tired,
Yeah.
And she'll fall asleep and I won't get a chance to watch it. And then the next day she's not home. So like, here we are on Tuesday and I still haven't had a chance to see it yet,
Yeah.
So, it's like,
I mean, there is definitely becoming let's see how quickly we can spoil something.
Right.
And again, I think it's one thing in the text, of a tweet or whatever saying, oh, can't you believe this happened to this person? But I think something else posting a clip of it
Right.
which
Oh.
auto plays. You can't stop it.
Yeah.
You scroll and away it goes. And there have been clips of the very last bit, the absolute last couple of seconds. And you're like, well, had I not known that, now I would.
Yeah.
You know,
Luckily, I
there's no
haven't
escaping
seen.
that.
I haven't seen clips. I just know that it happened.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Mm. But it's, you know, but it's still a, you know, don't, again, whatever you, I mean, I don't know how much more you know about what happens next, John.
No, I don't know anything.
This is just
after
the,
this. Yeah.
this is just the trigger to everything that's coming next. I mean, this is, it's as integral an incident as Game of Thrones with the Red Wedding. You know, it happened early-ish in the run.
Right.
There's still so much more to come. And that's what you've got here. So this is just the jumping off point for the cycle of violence that's coming. And it's awesome.
Yeah.
So if this, I mean, genuinely, if this series, this and the next one covers even 75% of what is covered in the game, this will be some of the best TV that's ever been made.
Right.
There is some incredible stuff coming. And again, no spoilers from me.
Yeah, but
So it's really,
I'm
really
looking
good.
forward, you know, really looking forward to it.
Yeah. Oh man. I mean, I was a little bit surprised they kind of, if you'll forgive the expression, blew their wad so early with this, because this is such a big thing. They could have held this on for another 2 or 3 episodes, really, because those that have played the game know what's coming, and anyone that doesn't, you can sort of build the dread.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're obviously not trying to spin this out too much.
Yeah. Well, I think they have, from what I've heard, I haven't played the game, but I've heard people like yourself that have, and there's a lot coming. So you don't want to, you don't want to drag this part out too much, get to it. And then, you know, what are they slated for? 4 episodes, 4 seasons? I mean,
I thought it was 3, but it might be 4. I don't think there's a definite thing, but they're not going to run and run and run. They have got an end, you know, there's only a finite amount they can do, because again, the game does have an ending.
It is in this episode here. It's like, now, you know, I haven't played the game, but in this episode here, I found myself like in the action thinking, oh my God, I feel like I'm in a game. And I was like, dumb, this is a game, right? Like I'd forgotten, but it's like, you can like the way they filmed it and the action and the way it takes, you're in the theater. It's like, you're being surrounded by like the sound, the ambience of the wind, everything. And then all the action starts taking place. And, you know, there's some shooting and everything. And you're like, this is what it's like to be in a game, right? And you can feel like what it would, you'd be like, you want to be a part of it. And I was like, this would make a good game someday. Right. Dum-dum, it goes in reverse. It's already the game. They made the movie or the show. Right? Not the other way around, where it's like, even like John Wick, there's some scenes where you're like, oh, it looks like they're going to make a John Wick video game out of this or whatever, right? And that overhead, the God view in the room when he's going around and bombs going off and stuff. So
the dragon's breath.
Yes, exactly.
I know that I know you guys are ever wary of computer games and the addictive nature of it. Bear in mind, this is a single player game only. There is no multiplayer game to this. Right. And I know you've got access to a PS5, Deej. So, but if you get chance, it would be worth playing it, because this is less a game and more of a movie theatrical experience.
It's just really what I need. Another time suck.
No, I know. But if not you guys, it would be John. You know, I mean, obviously there's the cost of a console and everything else, but if you do get chance to play through the games, I can't recommend them enough. You know, you feel, because you because of the way the games are told, and they're told very theatrically. You feel the weight of the moral decisions these characters make, deliberately so, and you feel this kind of loss of control. You feel the vengeance kind of, you know, welling up within you, and you then feel the guilt that comes from that. And so the game and the series is all about wrestling with vengeance. What is revenge? And again, it's that, you know, if you're going to embark on a campaign of vengeance, dig 2 graves, and it's kind of this and it's wrestling with this idea, and the games do it really well. So if you do get chance, again, I know you are both wary of games, but if you do get that chance, I do recommend it. It's this one in particular, because it's so sprawling. It's ginormous. And the story it's telling is incredible. It really is. So really well worth doing it if you get round to it, even though I know neither of you will. But if you do,
Yeah, maybe someday.
You never know.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I have a PS4. I just don't have a PS5.
I think The Last of Us Part 2 did come out on the PS4. I think it did.
Maybe. Yeah.
So you
don't
know, I mean, you've got your time. It won't be very expensive now. It's a few bucks, and think of all that entertainment.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. What do we want to hit on next? Do you want to do the other series?
Doesn't matter.
Did you
Which one? Go for it.
did you start where did it go? Where did I put it? This one. Did you guys get to finish this one up?
Yeah. I'm done and done.
All right.
Cool.
All right, let's wrap up this series then. Daredevil Born Again.
Yeah.
Finally. All 9 episodes now.
Yeah.
Did you guys check the end credit scene?
No.
Yes.
No.
There is
So
an
it's a
end-credit scene,
mid-credit
John.
scene, really. It's a
I wouldn't know,
mid-credit
but I
scene.
didn't know there was one. So
Me neither until afterwards, and then I went back
Okay.
and watched it.
I
Oh,
will
no.
I will do that then. I did not.
Yeah, we'll wait.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, well, yeah,
I'll do it right
exactly.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, I'll do my bit. I still love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same.
I think this series has been, again, I still think my favorite Marvel series of the post Netflix era for me. And this episode just went all out. It really did. Again, I don't want to spoil it, but we get fisticuffs.
Yeah.
We get violence. We get Game of Thrones
Yeah,
level
we get
violence at one
yeah.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy. I
Yeah.
ended up putting that bit back about 4 times and rewatching
Yeah.
it and thinking, I didn't just see what I thought I saw. There's no
Yeah.
way Marvel and Disney have done this. Watch it again. No, watch it again.
I felt like
No.
they purposely went that far. Like this isn't this isn't your what?
It's like you thought we weren't going to do it.
Yeah, this isn't your kid's Disney.
Right.
It's the reverse of this isn't your father. This isn't your kid's Disney. This is legit. And I mean, they do, really great graphic injuries, they don't pull punches.
No.
It's, oh my God. I mean, there's death, lots of it,
Mhm.
and it's just so well done, like cringeworthy at times. And yeah, it's so good. I do feel though, like, I know it's, we still have another season, and I'm mixed on how because it's not really another season. It's clearly this is halfway.
It's the second half, right, of season
Right.
1.
And it's like, but I'm like, I kind of like that we now have to wait because it builds that anticipation, because we would just go through it and we'd have nothing left to look forward to for the Daredevil, right?
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, I just want to keep going. It's just that good, and it doesn't feel like this. They did a decent job at making it feel like it's a season unto itself, but the way it, climactic ending, if you will, that builds to like, yeah, but you just can't wait for the next one. It's
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, and again, we don't want to spoil characters that turn up in it, but when that character that we've alluded to in the past just cuts loose,
Yeah.
just turns up and just goes, "Come on, then," and
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. And the thing about you clowns, doing this, you think you know me? Come on, then.
Yeah.
I love that, which plays in nicely to the mid-credit scene, because I was thinking Langerbow. It's a bit cheap how that ends, but then it's not the end. And of course, we are going to get a special presentation between now and the next lot of this particular character. So we're going to get a separate story, which I can't wait for, frankly.
Frankly.
So
I see what you did there.
smooth. Yeah. So I mean, it just, it's awesome. I mean, I'm not sure the ending could have been much better in terms of this is where we've built to.
Yeah.
Now we're going to just show you what happens when we just let fly.
Right.
So no, I thought it was great. And I mean, I would love it to carry on. I really would.
Yeah.
But I can wait. And again, the special presentation in the meantime is going to be very cool. I thought the video and audio was of a par with all the others. It was, really, really good. I want this on disc yesterday.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This it must, for me, it's like when this comes out 4K.
Day
I
one.
just can't wait.
Yeah. Oh,
I said, what was it, last week before the show, I had Joe Klusnick had come by. And that day, yeah, and because he was coming, I thought he was going to be here on Sunday, but I was like, I did a quick, recalibration of my projector, the black levels, right? And what you do, when you're bulb-based projectors, one of the things you can do as the bulb wears, you up the brightness. You can adjust it to up the brightness to get that back. Okay, so that's what I did. And it's usually just a small tweak I do every few months. And when I did it this time, and it's been more than a few months, and when I did it this time, the opening to Daredevil, which, ironically, we're also going into The Last of Us now. These two openings have, speckles in the opening. What in Daredevil, it's dust because it's like, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. That's what's going on in there, that one. And in Last of Us, it's the spores, right? The little, things floating in the air.
Mm-hmm.
But what I found in Daredevil, it is in The Last of Us too, is check the background out past the dust. Check it. It's almost like a, Aurora Borealis effect going on in some of the scenes. Like the first time, I think it was Daredevil, like the side of his face or something like that. And like right off the top of his forehead, it's almost like a look of space back there and it was just more enhanced when I recalibrated my projector. And I was like, oh my God. It looks really nice. And then you have all those pieces of dust floating and stuff. And, but the same thing, I love the openings to these shows, these movies. I remember we did all the openings to Game of Thrones every time. I never skip the openings. I just love what they put so much detail in. Some of them look almost 3D, these two especially. And going back to the Netflix series, I love that opening as well. But yeah, it's like, check out all those little specs and stuff like that. It's an awesome test for your display to see how much you can really see there and what's going on. It looks so good. And this series, the picture is so good. That black and white ball or whatever, and then she comes out in red. Oh,
yeah.
Everything looks awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be a great disc. I hope they announce it soon. I really do. This is a day one pickup for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. So, all right. Let's see. All right. What do you want first, guys? What are you up to?
Take your pick. Take your pick.
Matter. Just put it up and we'll talk about
all
it.
right. I want to hear about this.
You might be surprised, Mr. Briggs.
All right. Here we go.
Okay. So this is bang up to date then.
Yeah.
This is Flight Risk on 4K UHD disc and in Dolby Atmos, directed by one Mel Gibson and starring one very bald-headed Mark Wahlberg, What's-Her-Face from Defending Jacob, and Topher Grace, as is seen in that picture. And it's just come out here yesterday on 4K disc. And this is one of those ones I thought, you know what, I've been waiting for this. And this was a blind buy. I hadn't seen it. I went in with, and it was £25. So it's not a cheap new release, but this came out with Wolfman. And I thought, well, I'll get it. So I picked it up. And for reasons, I wish I understood why, it went straight to the top of the viewing pile.
Wow.
And I chucked it in. Now,
did you forget what I said about it?
Well, this is the thing. No, my expectations, again, lower than a gopher's scrotum, all this stuff. Yeah. So went in absolutely expecting nothing.
Right.
Okay. I liked it.
It's ridiculous.
I had a fun time with this.
Yeah.
Way more than I expected. I thought this was going to be just crap, really crap. I thought Midway is going to have a little friend up in the attic. No, I genuinely thought that's what's going to happen. It's going to be, Ebony and Ivory.
Yeah.
These two are going to be up in the attic, happy as Larry. No, because I genuinely enjoyed it in spite of myself. I mean, okay, I felt myself getting stupider the longer it went on. But I did enjoy it.
That scene I'm talking about, right? That's like completely ridiculous. Didn't need to be in the movie. Like,
through the
why?
snow?
Yeah. Like, why? That would down anything. was like,
Yeah,
it was
nothing
so-
actually happens as a result of it either. You're like,
No.
literally, that can be cut. No one would know. No,
doesn't doesn't need
Yeah,
to be
so-
there.
But I had a whale of a time with it. I thought Wahlberg was actually really good fun. The MVP for me, though, is Topher Grace. I swear he's improvising most of his lines. And there was I can't repeat the line. I've been thinking about it, but I can't. There is a line he says in it that just had me rolling on the floor with laughter. And it cannot be in the script. It must have been improvised. He talks about how it would be, it's way worse getting something by a bald guy.
Yeah.
I just was wetting myself with laughter. This is great. I was along for that. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
So I genuinely enjoyed it. I thought it was all kinds of fun, dopey, stupid, and shouldn't be allowed. But boy, did I enjoy it. And in 90 minutes, you can't fall out with a film that quick. It's such a short movie. You can't hate it.
Yeah. That's why I ended up doing it. I was like, oh, it's only an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I'll get through it.
I would call this a solid 3-star thriller for me. Solid 3 stars. I will watch
out
this
of
again.
20, but yeah.
I know someone who will absolutely love this. And I'm gonna watch this again. I thought it was really good, and I wasn't even all that ill when I watched it, so I can't blame the illness.
Well, you weren't that ill. You got that ill.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It was only yesterday. So then, in terms of the HT experience, the video I thought is really nice.
Yeah.
There's lots of close-ups of characters kind of waking up or unconscious, and you get the really close-in kind of pause under the eye and the eye itself.
The shots of the landscape.
And the shallow focus and stuff like that. Yeah, shots of the landscapes, which all look 3D.
Awesome.
It's really good. The sound, I think, is decent for a thriller. It never gets really bassy.
There's not much to it. Yeah.
No, there's a nice pan. I think you mentioned it. I think you did, where the camera starts outside the plane and pans across and then inside the fuselage, and so you then get the change in of the engine noise and everything as it pans across, which I thought was quite cool. And I was never distracted by it. I thought it suited the movie.
There's not a lot of opportunity for anything because everything is like in the plane. It's all confined. It's not really not. I mean, unless they rent into birds or something, you'd be like, okay. But other than that, there's really nothing to do.
It was a lot of fun. This is way better than it had any right to be. This is not even for me a guilty pleasure. I just genuinely thought it was fun.
Yeah.
I just had a great time, and I look forward to seeing it again with this person who I know who will love it, and won't know any of the twists because I'll make sure I don't tell them.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see kind of what they make of it. But I thought it was great. Yeah, really
and
good.
You guys
was nowhere near as annoying as I thought he was going to be.
No, but you guys asked me when I was talking about it, like about him being bald and like, why was that? What choice it was that? And do you agree? It was like, it literally is just like comedy. There's no rhyme or reason. And I agree with what you're saying. I didn't think of it at the time, but Topher Grace, like, ad-libbing some of those lines out of that comedy, right? And some of that stuff, like, because he was so genuine with that line. Yeah. It's just like, oh my God.
I was wetting myself with laughter.
It was so great.
It was so good. He's great in this. I just think and I love how he screams. He screams in anything. It's just very, very funny. So I think this was really fun. You'd never guess it was directed by Mel Gibson. If someone said this is directed by the guy that did Braveheart and Apocalypto and The Passion of the
he's
Christ,
also the guy that the buddy cop, like you could see his humor in like Lethal Weapon, right? And like how he deals with the humor there. It's like he is a funny, like he does, What Women Want, right? Like in that movie, remember that one? Film. He was so funny in that. Air America, the comedy in that too, which is similar to this, really. He's a very good comedic actor.
Yeah, but he's never done a kind of movie that's so non-cinematic as this. This is like a chamber. This could be a play. Oh. And I don't think you'd really necessarily. I mean, I'm not suggesting for 1 minute they do that, but it could be because of how tight the story is and the locations are. The guy that directed, again, Apocalypto, which is pure cinema.
Right.
Passion
of the Christ.
Braveheart. Yeah. This is a complete 180.
Let's put 3 people in a Cessna.
Yeah. You can imagine the producers
let's make one of them bald. All right.
Yeah. Why not? But if you
Hey,
think about it,
it's
if you're
us.
the producers and you're like, right, who are we going to get for our movie? You
Yeah.
know, we've got this. This is the film. We know what it's going to be. Who are we going to get? What were they smoking when someone said Mel Gibson?
Well, I
Like,
wondered,
what
it wasn't
are you
him,
talking
though?
about?
You sure
Well,
it
it's an
wasn't him?
icon. It's an Icon production, which is his production company.
Okay.
But I don't get the impression this is his baby. I don't get the impression that, he, was involved in the writing of it and all the rest of it. The impression I get is
I
they
see.
bought it. And he's then kind of, been like, oh, well, okay, I'll do it. Of course, he's about to start The Passion of the Christ 2.
Well,
this time
yeah,
it's
of course.
personal.
We all want to know what happens in the sequel.
Yeah, this time it's war.
Yeah.
So I mean, So just I would never have thought he would do it, but I really enjoyed this. John, don't listen to Deej when he said about it last time. I actually recommend this. I think it's a lot of fun in the right way.
Yeah.
Get a few cookies.
Yeah.
Just.
I didn't say
let
it was
it
the worst
ride.
thing ever. I said I enjoyed it, but but it's hard for me to recommend it too. And it's like, you know what I mean? Like if I had come in hot and been
True,
like
true.
you might have been like, oh my God. And you know what I mean? It
Yeah.
couches the perception, because I've really loved a lot of movies that were great movies. But then
Yeah.
once you tell somebody stuff like that, afterwards they're like, it wasn't that good, Deej. Oh yeah, I know, but it spoke to me. Now you sound like oh, here we go. DJ's getting spoken to again.
Right.
It's like,
No, man.
yeah.
In the
This
right
one
frame of
doesn't
mind-
speak to you. It's just fun.
Yeah, it's the difference between what I was expecting and what I got.
Right.
What I got was much better than what I was expecting.
There you go. You're welcome. Okay. That's all. That's,
What
yeah.
can I say except
There you
you're
go.
welcome? Yeah, that's one for Sophia.
There you go.
Yeah, that was really, really fun. Really fun.
Good. Glad you enjoyed it. Glad I set it up well for you on a
Did,
platter.
did.
John, you ready for this?
I'm ready for whatever.
Oh,
Hey, here we go. We might end the show on this one.
Oh, you think? I don't have that
Good.
much to say about it.
There we go. There we go.
All right. Well, true to form, I'm always the last one to catch up with things. So I finally got a chance to watch
Towering Inferno.
Joker Follow a Duck. I think
Over the
that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Follow a Duck.
Follow a duck.
Um,
That's what we kept saying.
Yeah.
Everybody listening. That's what we literally are texting that to each other. Like,
Yeah.
what should I do? I'll watch Follow a Duck. That's what we say. That's all we say.
Yeah. So this was
not
part of it.
identity.
Yeah, this was part of a disc sale that Amazon started yesterday. So I snapped it up and it was here at, 7:30 this morning. So I did get a chance to watch it today. So I know everybody's talked about this multiple times, but my take on the movie itself, this is one of those movies that I'm going to have to sit with for a bit. I didn't dislike it, but I didn't love it either. I feel like I just probably need to give it a little time, watch it again, and then see how it resonates with me. I feel like there's a lot of, the first one, we kind of had the comment, oh, you get to the end of the movie and did any of this stuff really happen? Was it all in his head? This movie's the same, right? Like you don't know what took place, what didn't take place, what was in his head, what wasn't. So I feel like a second viewing, maybe there's some crumbs and things that I can try to pick up on.
Do you remember the aspect ratio? Did you have variable aspect ratios?
Well, in the beginning with the cartoon, and then at certain points throughout the movie, I think when they were watching the other movie, it switched. Yeah. So I mean, I did notice
that's the key. That's what's in his head. What's imaginary.
Oh, well, I didn't follow. I didn't follow them enough throughout the entire movie.
Yeah.
I'm one of those guys that doesn't notice 90% of the time when it's changed.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if it goes to 4:3, I notice that, right? Like you can't not notice it.
Yeah.
But if it widens a bit, I don't always pick up on that. But but again, that's things that now I will pay attention to for a second time around.
Yeah.
And see if I can, you know,
There's so
put
much.
some of that
Yeah.
together. Yeah, but you know, it was definitely a choice.
Yeah.
that Todd Phillips made. Well, in all of them, right? You know, Lady Gaga, and all of a sudden I'm having a brain fart and I can't think of his name.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix.
It's
Yeah,
on
I'm
the
like,
screen.
I know. Oh, it is right there. I'm
Yeah,
like,
he was going to say
why-
Phoenix,
I was like-
Arizona.
I was like, why can't I think of his name all of a
Yeah.
sudden? Yeah, but I mean, you know, all of them, you know, definitely
River? That's his
it
brother.
was a choice, but yeah,
Tucson.
you know, interesting movie. And the disc though is great.
Yeah.
Like this is definitely an awesome. You know, it's 4K, Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos. You know, and it's Warner Brothers, and it is great. There's bass, there's musical numbers that kind of light up the, you know, they kind of like envelop the whole room. And a lot of, you know, indiscreet Atmos, I guess, you know, from courtroom scenes and prison scenes and just a lot of things happening in all of the speakers. And it was really a fun watch. So I definitely enjoyed it. But like I said, the movie, I'm going to have to give it at least another viewing to see how I really feel about it, because similar to the first one, I came out of the first one not really loving it, and then really got a much better appreciation for it the second time I watched it. And I have a feeling this will be similar. I had low expectations for it based on things that I had heard. The only thing that it had going for it was you two, who both liked it, because everything I heard about this was, you know, pretty bad. So
I've seen more and more people coming out that like it, that
I
are
think
talking about it. Like,
it's not, you know, definitely not a surprise anymore, although it never should have been a surprise to anybody to begin with. Like, this thing was touted as a musical kind of fantasy film from day one. And, you know, even the title, if you know the meaning of the title, I mean, it tells you right there what you're in for. So I don't know how anybody was super surprised by it.
Right.
But you know, now that it's kind of been out in the world and people have had a chance to stew on it, and maybe had second and third viewings of it, you know, maybe there's a different appreciation for it. But yeah,
I think this film's going to be reappraised in years to come. I think this will go down as something of a lost masterpiece. I think.
Yeah.
You know, at some point, there's so much more going on in this movie than is presented on screen. It's much more complex than the first one. It has a complexity, as I say, that I don't think everyone appreciated first time round.
Right.
I mean,
and I don't know that I did. Again,
I
don't know that I did either. You know.
Yeah, but and I get that, but I love how they mess with it. That they're messing with control and the nature of control, coercive and controlling behavior. Who is controlling who?
Right.
What is really going on here? Is who is the victim, or anyone in this a victim? And I find that question's a really interesting one in terms of how this all plays out.
Well, and there's I was to say there's definite changes to the character dynamics from the comics. You know.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, because again, it almost feels like she's the mastermind here, and you know, not the other way around. So
which is you know, interesting in and of itself. Right. You know, that they play with that. You never really know who's got the power dynamic, who's the one who's in control. It's great.
It's far deeper than people want to realize.
Yeah.
And
right. It's not just a musical. It's not just like there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
In this film for sure. I just think, you know, it may take more, you know, some people can just absorb it all in the first viewing and just, you know, I'm not that guy always, you know, I need to sit with things and, you know, again, maybe give it another, but the good news is I do want to see it again. Yeah. So it's not like I just hated it and never want to put the disc in again. So, I'll give it some time and I'll come back to it in a few weeks or month or so and watch it again. And
Yeah,
you know,
pay attention to the aspect ratio because once you figure that out and you see, and then you start to see each scene, because scenes within the scenes will change. Like the aspect ratio will change and then change back and then change back. So you're going in and out of, for all intents and purposes, reality.
right.
And like you said, if like you're not paying attention to that, you're like, why is this going on? And it's like, I mean, there's one particular scene that I'm thinking of. It's like one part, he's like literally imagining stuff in one place, like not even around him, somewhere else. And then the reality hits when you're in that other place.
Right.
And then it comes, it's like fascinating because you're like, the real version is crazy enough, but then his imagination and you have this, it's all of that going on. And then what all of that means. Right. And then, like you said, now you have the power struggle or what's, it's so deep. It's so fascinating. But then again, also like the home theater part of it, like you said, it's like the musical numbers. You're just like,
the distance fan is great.
Yes,
it
absolutely.
really is good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And the picture, everything, even the aspect ratio changing is one thing, but then I also thought like the quality of the filming was different between each cut. So that you felt like the reality was different. Like the
there's
lighting,
definitely
everything.
You could see definite changes in tone, right? Because
right.
It's the movie's gritty. Gotham is gritty. Arkham is gritty. But then the fantasy is bright and colorful, and
right.
Seems like a completely different film. And even things like that are very obvious clues that you're not in the real.
Right.
You're not you're not in reality. In that part, but it's the subtle things along the way that you don't know. Because again, there's like Steve and I were talking off camera, and not to give too many spoilers, even though it's been out for a long time, but obviously
I think you're the last one to see it. So
obviously there's two characters that know each other. So there has to be a point where they meet.
Right.
The scene where they meet could be the last part of reality in the entire movie. You know what I mean? Like he could meet her or come across her the way that he does, and then the rest of it,
or maybe never met, or
or maybe none of it ever happened, right?
Right.
So
it's like
that's where it's like, okay, how much of this is fantasy, or he's thrown into solitary confinement? Is that the end of reality? And then the rest of the movie takes, like, maybe he'd spent the entire movie in solitary confinement, so that's where it's interesting, and you want to kind of go back and try to watch again and look for different clues that they may have sewn in there that
it was both of these movies for me get better with every viewing. You see more in both of them, and it's I don't want to say like this one even more so, because of course I've seen this one less than I've seen the first one as a to date. But it's like every time you watch it, you're like, oh my God. It's like you start to pick out a little bit more from it. And it's, isn't that what it's supposed to be? It's like they can't all be like no brainers like Flight Risk.
Right.
Its complexity is what makes it interesting. It's It's not just it's not your comic book movie. It is more. They're trying to tell as realistic a story as you can when you're dealing with someone who's clinically insane and within the confines of a pre-existing comic book character. But I think it takes real balls to kind of spend this much money on something that is so complex and not surface level. And I think if you do go in with a surface level expectation, you're not going to enjoy it as much as if you can see what's good. It's the duck on the water. It looks all calm on the surface, but underneath the legs going like that. There's definitely more to it. But I'm glad you enjoyed it, John, and certainly the HT experience as well. Where was it on our list, Deej? Can you remember where it was on our top 10 experiences?
Oh God, where did it I could pull it up.
It was I thought it was in the top 5.
Was it number 5? We know what was at number 5. That was Twister.
But I think it was in the top. I thought it was in the top 5. Maybe only because I didn't see it. Maybe that was what would have put it lower.
Yeah, I can't remember. I was trying to think whether it was. Yeah, I think it was top 5. I think it was.
Let me see. I could pull it up.
Definitely top 10, but I'm not sure.
Oh, there we go. It's uploading. Oh my God.
Sorry, Deej, put you on the spot a bit there.
Yeah, exactly. Of 2024. So we had it at, I came in 8th.
Oh, at 8. Okay.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
8 because John didn't have it ranked.
That's what I'm saying. If
Right,
I had
so we
had
both-
it ranked, it probably would have been higher on the list.
Yeah. Well, maybe a little bit.
Maybe.
Steve and I both had it at 7.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So-
Okay. Wow.
I mean,
I thought I had it higher than that. No, what have we
yeah.
had?
No, it's, 2020.
Well, it was a solid list last year, though. There was a lot
Yeah,
of
I mean,
movies,
Dune
you
2
know.
was number 1, Mad Max Furiosa, Godzilla -1, Quiet Day, One Place Day 1, Twister, Civil War, Terminator, and then Joker,
Yeah. Okay.
Follow a Duck. So, yeah, we had Terminator, Civil War, all that ahead of it. So,
Well, there's a few people in the chat that have yet to see it, but guys, if you enjoyed the first one, don't listen to the negativity elsewhere. Genuinely make a beeline for it, and if you've got the disc, then there's no excuse. You really do
Right.
owe it to yourself to give this a go. It's a better film than many people give it credit for.
yeah. And the other thing I'd like to mention, too, is, John, did you think we'd be here today? When when Joker was announced, we were against it. We were like, why are they making a Joker movie? We weren't against it, but we were scared. Like,
Right.
the thing about Joker is he has no background, and we were afraid somebody was going to give him a background and then maybe a sympathy, like, oh, he was beaten as a child or he did something, like, and you'd have, but the fascination about that one character in comics is like there was nothing.
Right.
And there was we were afraid we were going to get that. And here we are many years later, and it's like they didn't give him anything.
Right. Because we still
they
don't know
did
that we
it.
got that.
Right.
You know?
They did it, and it's created conversation. They use the term Joker, which you come to find out, later is a joke. But it's like, but they used it to get you in. But at the same time, we said that after the first after Joker, we're like, they didn't even have to call it this.
Yeah,
It's
these
that
don't
good of a
have to be
movie.
Joker movies
Right.
at all. They could just be, you call it whatever, and it's just a study of, mental
Insanity.
illness and, violence and,
Right.
calling it
Trauma.
the Joker was to get people in the seats more than anything. This could have been any other movie. And
But I still think
it
at the
would've
same
worked.
time, like you said, it could be any other movie, but they used the Joker and they still honored it
right.
and made these 2 movies. It's like, it's crazy when you think of like how they came full circle. Whether you like it or not, it's like, I know like the hashtag dork guys hate it, but it's like at the end of the day, you're like, they didn't ruin the Joker. Right. They didn't ruin the character. They didn't do anything with it, which
you
is
don't
exactly
even
what
know
the
if
character
he's
is.
the quote unquote the Joker that would have fought the Batman of that universe or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? He could have just still been the inspiration for.
Or
Well, it flat out suggests that, doesn't it? Towards
Well,
the
it
end
sure
of
does.
this?
And I don't even know, is that a nod to another Joker that we're familiar with?
Yeah.
So,
Seems to be. I mean, again, notice it's not called the Joker.
right.
It's
Right.
just Joker. They deliberately dropped the definite article. The idea being it's
Joker.
a Joker,
Right.
Yeah.
but that's
Not
it. So
the-
yeah,
Oh,
quite.
yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Yeah. I was excited to hear what you thought of that one.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. I have, let's see, do I want to do that one? What else did I have here? No, I did that. Where did it go? All right, let me talk about this one quickly here. This, I'm only actually, you know what? I'm going to save it for the end. I'll save this one for the end and I'll just do my, here we go. So last week, this was my marathon. Last week I mentioned I watched that scene from, let me hit it here, Man of Steel. Well, I had a little time and it was still queued up on the Kaleidoscape. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch the whole damn thing. And I did. And you guys, Steve, did you hear what I said about it last week when I watched that scene when he takes off?
Mhm.
So
that's great.
I'm gonna talk about all of these together. So I went from Man of Steel. Really, I loved this movie in the theater. Absolutely loved the movie. I agree with John. I know there's controversy at the end, but the movie itself in its entirety is one of my favorite movies.
Right.
Watching it again, I was like, oh my God. All right. So I wasn't even done with this movie. And I'm like, yep, I'm going right to Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. extended director's cut with the new aspect ratios, everything like that. So, of course, I was 20 minutes into this, and I had to do, Zack Snyder's Justice League 4-hour
That is a
extravaganza.
marathon.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I did not do these in a row. Okay. It's like I went from, let's see, I did go from Man of Steel and then went right into Batman v Superman and then, took a break, right? Finished that and then did go directly into Justice League, the Snyder Cut. It was, and by doing that, take the break. I've seen all of these movies, of course. So when you take a break in the middle of the movie, it's not as, I don't like to do that on first viewing, but later on, it's not as big of a deal. But it's nice going right from one to the other. And because and these three actually flow really nicely. I almost tried to squeeze in Wonder Woman in the middle. One of my absolute favorite scenes in movies is her entrance in Batman Dawn of Justice, Batman v Superman. When she comes in and you hear that music, we haven't seen Wonder Woman yet. We haven't seen the movie. We don't know anything about her.
But she was with you.
Huh?
I thought she was with you.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. But when she drops in and that music comes in and she does the magic bracelets, it's like, it's just such an entrance, only to be topped when you actually watch Wonder Woman and she crosses a field.
No man's land.
Yeah, no man's land in World War I. It's like, that's an epic scene in itself. But anyways, going from, Man of Steel, last week, I told everybody, that demo scene that I was hoping was a demo scene that I was like, it didn't turn out to be as great as I thought. But I was wrong. I was wrong, because when you watch this movie in its entirety, this movie is the most dynamic of the three, audio-wise. It is bonkers how good it is with the bass, with the, the punchiness of the bass in this movie is absolutely, like, hands down, out of these three is awesome. It's not Lucy, but the bass in it does hit. It punches with every punch, with every gunfire, with every weapon that is fired. It's like, you feel it. When he goes to take off, when you watch the movie in its entirety, when he goes to take off and that builds, the emotion is already built. That's where it comes from. It's like he comes out of that. If you just pop this in, you're just like, oh yeah, this is nice. Where is it? Oh no, it's been building by the time he gets here. When I switched from Man of Steel to Batman v Superman, this didn't have the same punch. The audio wasn't as dynamic. It's still really good, but Man of Steel is a lot better. The picture on Man of Steel is better as well. I felt like that was more dynamic. It was brighter. Obviously it's a Superman movie, so they did go dark, of course, with, the darker characters, Zod and everybody in the ships, inside the ships, all very well rendered. Space looked awesome. When he was up at, like, all of that looked great, but it was a much brighter film than, Dawn of Justice. Dawn of Justice, I thought there wasn't the shadow detail wasn't as good. And when you go right from one to the other, it's really like, oh, wow, I wish I could see a little bit more here. I wish it was, a little punchier for the, picture, but it's still, again, really good. Audio is very good, just not what it's not in the same class as Man of Steel. Now, going to Justice League, I love the picture on this. This is the one where it's like, it's the exact opposite of Man of Steel, but done with the same quality as Man of Steel. It's, just from beginning to end. And I do have masking on the side. So I have the, the 4:3 screen, the 133 or whatever, and masked all up. It looks awesome. And when they get into, you get to the final battle scenes and surprise, Superman shows up and he's in the black. It's like everything is still punchy. The darkness and the brights of the explosions and everything just looks awesome. Flash his costume is unbelievable. It stands out from everybody. Wonder Woman's costume stands out. Cyborg, it's absolutely so well done. 4 hours long. And again, this audio doesn't match up to Man of Steel, but it is very, very good. Very good. And nothing but entertaining for me, beginning to end. It's just hard to sit through 4 hours. It actually took me 3 viewings to get through the entire thing. But I couldn't wait to get back to it every single time. So, when was the last time you guys watched any of these?
When it dropped on HBO.
I watched Justice League when it came out, the Snyder cut.
Yeah.
I've got the disc. I have never watched it. I only watched it because it showed up on Max, right? That's
where it first came
HBO,
out. Yeah.
whatever it was called back
HBO
then.
Max, yeah.
And Batman v Superman and Man of Steel. I mean, I watch them as often as I can. I mean, I think they're great. I mean, Man of Steel, I think he's the one that's the best of them all. I agree. Followed by the Snyder cut, then Batman v Superman. But I like them all in their director's cut incarnations.
Yeah.
Theatrical ones, very much less so. But the director's cuts, yeah, absolutely. And Man of Steel is great. And I love the James Horner music as well. Funny enough, I've got that and listen to that in the car. That's the other thing you talk about, Deej, about the emotion of the first flight. That music is building as well. And I think that really plays into the emotion. So when he first takes off and then the music swells as he does that, that really does kind of cement it. And there's another reason why if you just pop it in, you haven't had that theme building during the movie. So that's a classic one where the music elevates what you're seeing. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, really good.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it really was a lot of fun to do too. I wasn't expecting it. I sat down to watch Man of Steel, just take my mind off of some stuff. And I'm like, all right. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to go right into the next one. And then, it was a lot. I like when stuff like that happens organically, as opposed to, I got to do this.
I think, and do you think in Man of Steel, I think that's Cavill at his biggest. Isn't that he's most ripped in Man of Steel, isn't he? He just seems bigger.
Oh, absolutely.
Whereas the other two, he's still ripped, but not to the
like when he comes out of the water after the oil rig situation, he comes out and he's like going to he can't even put his arms down, for God's sakes. Right? He's trying to get to the clotheslines. He's like, sure. It was so, so well done. And the end of, Snyder Cut, there's so much going on there that he put in, and it really makes you like what we're missing. I like what he did. It's interesting. It's stuff out of the comics. It's stuff that he, other world stuff. And you wish that it could go on. But at the same time, the Snyder Cut in itself is a testament to the fans, right?
And
it's
like he wanted,
and it's like, we weren't even supposed to get that. Who was it? Joss Whedon ended up finishing Justice League?
Joss Whedon did finish Justice League, and
controversially so.
Yeah. But how much of that was him in the studio, right? Or him or the studio, right? Because I know, like Snyder has said, he was battling the studio right up until he left. And then when he left, they probably brought in Joss Whedon to be like, all right, there you go, do it our way, okay. So and then Snyder got to do it his way. So there's no way we were ever getting this even in the first run. It's 4 hours long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll still get the air cut of the Suicide Squad as well, which would be nice. But because that will help us work out where they were going with it as well.
Yeah. But a lot of fun. I'll do it again someday. Not very
great
soon.
movies and very cool in 4K. No question.
Absolutely. All right. Let me see. What do you got? You want to do? Well,
do you want to go back a little bit? Because I've got some older ones there.
Sure. Which one?
Take them off. There is a Star Wars one there somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I know where that is.
That's the furthest back I think I can go. Just so we've done it. Yeah, there we go.
Yep. All right. Here we go.
Be quick. Okay, AI. So this is The Mandalorian Season 3, which dropped on 4K disc a few weeks back, and I watched it. And I bought this, it's on 4K disc in Dolby Atmos. And I bought this out of a sense of obligation because I've got the other two, and already feeling a little bit shortchanged because, of course, the Book of Boba Fett sort of glue Season 2 and 3 together, and the Book of Boba Fett isn't on physical media.
Right.
So I bought this out of a sense of obligation and feeling a bit shortchanged. And on the back of when I saw this when it came out on Disney Plus, I didn't particularly enjoy it. I remember thinking it's a bit bland, and I didn't really remember much. I was wrong. Because rewatching this, I had an absolute blast watching this again. I had
Really?
forgotten so much of this. I'd forgotten the kind of the big pirate battles. I'd forgotten Ahmed Best rocking up and saving Grogu. I had forgotten the sort of the large scale kind of fight sequences that just had completely passed me by. The TIE Interceptor fights, on with Bo-Katan, Grease, all this stuff, I'd completely forgotten. So watching this again was like watching it for the first time, and I really enjoyed this to the point where it might actually be one of my favorites of the three. I thought it was really good, but that doesn't mean I still don't want Book of Boba Fett. That would be nice because I would like to have them all together. But anyway, really enjoyed the series. Now, in terms of its audio and video, because I said this would be quick, the video is the best of the three by a fairly significant margin. By the time they've got to this, they've obviously sussed out the volume properly, and it is razor sharp all the way through, beautifully colourful, all kinds of clever little details that I hadn't noticed before or had forgotten, which just look exceptional on this. And that's before you get to all the sequences on Coruscant, where you've got the darkness, you've got the beautiful little pinpricks of light, you've got the beautiful lightsabers and the all that sort of stuff. It looks awesome. This is the best Mandalorian has ever looked. I thought it was exceptional. The Atmos audio is really, really good. This is not Atmos. Never goes deep. We're not going to, this is definitely not Lucy or anything like that, to quote that film again. But it is very, very good indeed. The giant ships sound like they're giant ships when they're firing down onto Navarro from the big pirate ship. It sounds like these are big cannons. And so it's not room rearrangingly deep, but it's still really good. So I thoroughly enjoyed watching this series again. I'd forgotten just how good it was. And so, yeah, I really do recommend this. Again, Disney, if you're listening, can we have the Book of Boba Fett, please? So then we can get Mandalorian season 2.5. That would be nice. But otherwise, yeah, really, really good. And definitely the best it's looked by some margin. So yeah, recommend.
Yeah, these seasons get better. I mean, everything they're doing here in the Star Wars universe, I think every episode season gets better because the technology is getting better.
Yeah.
First season of Mandalorian, that was the first season with the volume, right, John? I think that was.
I think so.
Yeah, that was the first show that they used that technology, and so it's everything just seems to be getting the picture quality just seems to be getting better and better with every episode. And I mean, Ahsoka came after this, and we were like,
yeah, which is great as well.
And that's even better, So
yeah, it worries me though that we're not going to see Boba Fett. I don't think we are, because he didn't do very well. And there's not going to be a season 2, so there's no reason for them to revisit it. But I do wish they would, because there's some significant character development for the Mandalorian and Grogu in between.
Yeah. It really wasn't. It really wasn't like if you came into it, which we all did, think it was a Boba Fett show or series, but it's really Mandalorian 2.5.
Right.
It is, exactly. Yeah.
And so it really should get its, due, because it's part of the story and there's a lot in there. And it's, and of course we get that, the diehard fans, or the older fans of Boba Fett, it's like you get a little bit more. Although I think that was some of the criticism, is the older people were like, he's not as brutal as what we thought he was. Right. And it's, it turned out you're like, he's a softie. the heck was that? So that was, people were complaining about that, but
Yeah, but there's some really good stuff in that. So it really, they should release it just as a nod to the fans and the glue between seasons 2 and 3. Maybe, who knows, maybe with Mandalorian and Grogu next year, they will release all of these. Maybe, I don't know, but it would be good if they did. By the way, have you guys seen the bootleg trailer to that?
No.
It's online.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
We get AT-ATs, guys. AT-ATs
nice.
and the little AR-1 two-legged things and all that.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, yes. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, it looks good. Anyway, there we go. Just
all right.
thing.
Speaking of trailers, John, and just having watched Superman, I did check out that trailer last week.
Yeah.
After the show for Superman, the new Superman movie, and like the extended cut, and with Crypto and my God,
looks great.
It's the original trailer where they just show him show up. Crypto shows up and then drags him away.
Yeah.
You got to see that first.
Yeah.
Then see the extended part. And like, that's like every dog in the world. Like you're lying there sick, right? And your dog comes over and is like, come on. It's like pushing on you.
Beating the crap out of him.
Oh yeah. But they did it so good. Like, cause how a dog does it, jumps with the two paws and pushes. And you're like, he's Superman. He's in pain. But it's like the dog is pushing him. And you're like, oh my God, you're hurting him.
Yeah.
You're hurting him. It's so great. Oh God.
No, I think it looks great.
Yeah. Yeah. It's everything you said last week. I see exactly what you're saying. Like, it's going to be entertaining. It's going to be more comic booky, but it's going, I was,
but it's still going to be a good
encouraged.
film. Like, it's going to be a good film. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's definitely got some, James Gunn, traits in it. It's going to have humor. It's got kind of the ensemble cast because you're going to have Mr. Terrific and you're going to have Guy Gardner and you're going to have, Hot Girl, I think. Is in it. So,
Mr. Terrific. I thought that was cool seeing him. A lot of and those are the ones they're showing us.
Right.
I think we're gonna finally get a legit like Green Lantern. I just think.
Oh, you've got what's his face is in this.
Well, you're gonna have you've got
Guy Gardner,
Nathan Fillion, but then you've also we've got the show coming too, right? Like we know who our Green Lantern is.
Yeah,
Kyle Chandler is Hal Jordan, right?
Yeah.
So
Aaron Pierre is
Jon Stewart. Yeah, which again that is going to be awesome. So maybe we see Hal Jordan show up in here, but I don't know,
Yeah. That's what had me excited and encouraged is seeing all those, like, what is it? Did they show Hawk Girl?
I don't
remember. She's fighting some big creature.
Yeah, she was fighting, but Mr. Terrific, all of that is like, these are obscure characters that they're showing us in an extended trailer. They have surprises for us.
Well, right. Well, and that
could have been one of them, and they're already showing us.
Because look at Guardians of the Galaxy, like all Z-level characters. Mr. Terrific and Guy Gardner. They're out there in the comics for sure, but they're not A-listers. Do we see Supergirl?
Mr. Terrific was in the Arrowverse.
We already know we've got the Supergirl movie.
Yeah.
So
which they're shooting at the moment in England.
Yeah.
So.
Looks good. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yep. All right. You ready for this one, John?
Sure.
All right. Here we go.
Okay. So this is Companion, which dropped on Max this week, Friday, I believe. And this had been on my to watch list for a while. So I was happy to see this. Now, as I've mentioned many times before, I am on the budget HBO Max plan, so I did not get Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision, or
black and white.
It was thankfully in color, but other than that, it's 1080p and mixed 5.1 streaming audio. So I won't go super. I won't wax on poetically about the HT experience because, again, it's very throttled back. the way I was able to watch this movie. That being said, it wasn't horrible. I mean, it's still 5.1 sound. It's upmixed to in Neural X. So, I mean, it still was pretty decent. And the video stream was, it was fine. But I'm sure a 4K disc version of this would be far, far superior. But what I will talk about is the movie, because I really enjoyed this movie. Steve, have you seen this yet?
I think Steve muted.
No, I'm literally just typing it into Amazon.
Oh, okay.
See if it's on 4K here yet. I've seen the trailer to it.
Yeah. And DG, I'm assuming you haven't seen it either.
No.
I mean, so there's nothing new here in this movie. Like it doesn't break any new ground. These are all things we've seen before. It's, I'm not going to spoil anything because it's right here on the screen. Sophie Thatcher plays an AI companion to Jack Quaid's character.
Yeah.
And I guess the only thing that's maybe novel is that these AI companions, though they're prevalent in the world, do not know that they are AI companions. They operate under the assumption that they are real people with real memories.
Right.
And so part of the I guess the plot points of the movie is when they discover they are not in fact humans. But again, I don't want to spoil too much about the storyline. But again, these are all themes we've seen before, but it was a lot of fun. The performances were great. Sophie Thatcher, this is like the third or fourth thing I've seen her in the last year or so. I think we're going to see her a lot more because she's really, really good here. Jack Quaid, again, now that we're seeing him in a bunch of other things besides The Boys, is good. It is really good here. Just a lot of fun. I really recommend seeing it. If it hasn't, I guess Jordan's saying the UK is not set to get a 4K release of it.
It's on Kaleidoscape, 4K, Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, but it's $35.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's $35 worthy, and I don't know if it's worth importing a 4K disc from the US at the cost that it's going to entail. And if you just want to watch it, it's free on Max.
Right.
But to get the most out of it, obviously you're going to want to see it on disc, but it's a lot of fun.
I'll wait for it to drop a little
Again,
bit.
yeah, I don't know that I would pay $35 for it, and I definitely wouldn't pay the money to import the disc from the US to the UK.
I need to see it. I do want to see it.
But it is a lot of fun, and it's really, it's a good, like I said, I really enjoyed it.
Is it, John, is it a horror?
I think it's billed, again, it's one of those movies that's kind of billed as horror, but it's much more. Well, I even actually
Kaleidoscape has it down as horror, mystery, and sci-fi.
This is in HBO Max is showing it as fantasy, sci-fi. It's more that. It's more Black Mirror, like we talked about, or I talked about last week. It's technology and fantasy and sci-fi. It is not really horror. There are some elements to it where there's definitely some violence and there's things of that nature, but it's not really horror, I wouldn't say. So
because the trailer sort of pointed it in the sort of Megan direction. It was going to be kind of horror.
Which I haven't seen Megan.
That's how it looked to me.
I haven't seen Megan, so I don't know. But I mean, I don't know if I would, even not having seen it, is Megan a horror film or is it a sci-fi?
Well, it wants to be.
Kind of fantasy
horror.
It wants to be.
Not for real horror fans.
I don't know that this wants to be.
Apparently people didn't die well enough in it for Steve, so it's
Well, and I don't know that this wants to be horror. Like I don't think it's going for that necessarily.
Okay.
I agree with the sci-fi fantasy. And if again, having just finished the new season of Black Mirror, it felt very Black Mirror to me because it's technology. You don't know the time frame of the movie specifically. Obviously, their technology is a little bit more advanced than what we have now, but it doesn't look like it's set 150 years from now.
Right.
So your advice, John, is to watch it before I buy it. Yeah,
I would watch it. If you can catch it. I know you guys don't have Max, but you have Sky or whatever you have.
I can get a screener of it fairly easily. I'm sure.
I would watch it and make sure you enjoy it before spending $35-$40 to import it.
Yeah,
I mean the experience. again, you're not going to get the true Atmos or the Dolby Vision or 4K or anything like that, but it doesn't need. Again, it's not one of those movies that really needs all of that. So
yeah, I'll wait for it to come down on Kaleidoscape. And
when it's $19 or so, we
Yeah.
grab it, but not at 35. But like I said, it just came out.
Right.
Streaming,
Well, that's why it's $35 on Kaleidoscape. It just, is it still in theaters?
No, but it hasn't been that long.
Right.
Like it was in theaters not too long ago. So
I'm thinking, so if I get JD to drop it over during the state visit, just have to make sure I watch it quickly.
Exactly.
Yeah, within 24 hours. Otherwise, forget it.
Yeah. There we go. All right. Steve, you want to, I caught the beginning of this is all I have left, really, I think.
Should we do that? Yeah. What we talked about earlier?
Yeah.
Go on.
This one here is, I think this is the first time we're going to be playing 2 sounders to open this. So here we go. Where you saw this before. You saw this in the theater, right? Okay. Yes. You saw it in theaters. So let's bring it up here. So Steve saw this in theaters. We're talking Wolfman. Saw it in theaters. Didn't like it. He was like, "You're gonna have a wolf in your Wolfman movie?"
I was a little surprised to find that you had bought it, Steve.
Well, indeed.
Yeah, so was I.
Yes.
And then just our text exchange after this, I was like, I had to. Absolutely had to. Just off of it. Wait till you hear what he has to say about it. And I haven't seen the whole movie, but you were 100% correct.
Oh, yeah.
100% correct. This could be well, I'll let you go since this is this is your baby. And thank you very much, by the way.
You're welcome. Okay. So Wolfman. And again, you have to say Wolfman because there may or may not be a wolf in this Wolfman film. And that was the problem that I had in theaters. So I saw it in a fairly decent theater, a couple of months or so ago. And this is from Lee Winnell, who did The Invisible Man and Upgrade and, some really, really good movies. And I happen to love The Invisible Man. And when I heard, bearing up being a massive werewolf fan, that he was going to have a crack at Wolfman, I was like, oh, God, manna from heaven. So, but unfortunately, the movie, when I saw it in theaters, just did not, as I said, not enough wolves, if any. And it just just some odd choices made in this movie. But that was a few weeks ago. And time moves slowly or quickly, depending on how you want to look at it in Steve world. And so I thought, you know what, I will buy it. And I bought it at the same time as Flight Risk. So talk about a festival of mediocrity.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah.
So, I thought, well, I will. So I did. So I watched it earlier today because, again, after Flight Risk, it's just bubbled up to the top of the list because I'm a werewolf fan and I can't help myself. It's not a full moon. But anyway, so I put this on earlier, not really knowing whether I was going to enjoy it. But then the movie begins. And home theater fans, it begins with this just cacophony of sound. And immediately any concerns I had about what the story was going to be disappeared. And I'm talking the Universal logo. You haven't even got to anything of the movie yet. Right from the beginning, there is an assault on the senses that just to any HT fan with a decent home theater just immediately thinks, I'm here for this. And in fact, I said to you guys in a text, it's the most effective horror movie opening since Evil Dead Rise in terms of its HT experience. But I would say that it reminded me of The Northman, when before you see anything, you've got this sort of humming bass and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. So anyway, so the movie though, and I have seen the whole film, the movie is slightly better second time round, but still not good. Not enough wolves. And also, again, this just could be a mountain man story. It's weird. Some very strange decisions made. But forget the film. You don't need to see this for the film. You need to see this for the HT experience. This will be in my top 10. It might be in my top 5 of the year. It is exceptionally good. So it begins. The audio, as I said, there are things during the movie where you have, well, actually, no, I won't spoil that. I won't do that because you don't need to. The opening sort of 5 or 10 minutes builds on this cacophony of noise that begins, where everything is ramped up to 11. It just sounds incredible. And there is then a sequence where father and son are being pursued in the woods by something, and the atmos on this is as evocative and cleverly used as anything I've seen in a long time, to the point where there are 2 sequences right at the beginning where I actually stopped it because I thought there was someone outside of the room.
Yeah.
But it's actually the speakers. It was like, oh my God, wow.
Yeah, left rear of the room.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, where the door is, you see. So I just thought, no, oh, it's a deer. Okay, bloody hell.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's so well done. Little clicks and little kind of movement and everything in the speakers, protracted thunder rumbles, moving right across the room like it's a war zone.
The thunder rumbles, that's like I said earlier, mentioned Carl Ellsworth. I'm like, that thunder rumble that goes back and forth. It actually goes like, I mean, the way it would roll, and it was kind of, in my room, it was kind of like overhead, a little behind, and back and forth. And it was, I mean, deep, visceral, like feel it. And but it's like, I love when they do that in the room. And it's like, because like a visceral feel, it's like, it's not location, but it feels like it's over you. I mean, they did such a great job with that.
It's so if you've got the disc or you get it, do yourselves a favor with the first 5-10 minutes up until when they first get to San Francisco. But know this, that ain't it. Because as the main character begins to change, his perception changes. And when those perception changes, they have all kinds of fun with noises that are really loud and beautifully positioned, but actually that's his perception and reality. When they then go to reality and you realize what it is that's making the noise, you will be like, oh my God, I love it. I love what they've done with this. So make sure you carry on with it, Deej. Don't keep going with it, because whenever we go into this wolf perception mode, everything is heightened. So it sounds phenomenally good. And that never goes away. The video's a little bit hit and miss because when he goes into this perception mode, all the brightness levels change. And that's a deliberate thing. It's trying to show, well, this is what he can see. Or canines can see things differently to humans.
Right.
So that's a little bit kind of, all the brightness goes. But when it then flicks back to the real perception, you then get a beautiful demo of black levels. And if your system is not calibrated, the second half of this movie will be invisible. You might think your screen's turned off. But if you've got it calibrated, you are in hog heaven. And actually what they do is when the camera moves so that it begins with normal perception, the camera shifts to his perspective, and so the brightness changes, then it goes back. And so you can see how he then melds into the darkness from what they can see. And it's a great way of playing with light and dark, shadow, and the detail that's within. It's an exceptionally good home theater presentation. This is from a 2.5 to 3 star, story to a, 8 or 9 out of 10 HD presentation. This is right up there. It really is very good indeed. And it does elevate the movie, not quite as much as I'd like it to, but it does elevate it. But the HT experience is phenomenal. So, I mean, as soon as I saw this earlier, it was just like text.
You texted. I bought it right away and based off of the text. Downloaded it, so when I got home from work, I was like, I wanted to take in that 5 minutes. And I wanted that, you touched on it, that Universal opening that is reminiscent of for everybody that remembers back laser discs in the Dolby AC3 and the train or a THX logo, THX opening. All of that's what this universe. There's sounds in there from Jurassic Park. There, I mean, all the different movies are in there, and they're playing all around your room. I mean, it is like that's worth the disc right there. I don't have they done that in any other film? Have I?
No. This is invocative of the track generally.
Yeah,
This is just giving you a taster of what's to come.
but it's that universe, that's demo material right there. Just the Universal logo, because that looks 3D, right?
Yeah.
The picture quality on that, and then you said like when you get in, you finally get into the movie after you've watched the Universal track a few times. You get into the movie, and it's. I mean, like we were just saying, the thunder. This is a push play demo disc. And even like you said, don't buy it for the movie. The movie could be garbage after that. This is just literally a demo disc. Just buy it and watch the opening. And it's absolutely, it's stunning. I was like, when you can overhype something, and then I was like, oh, you like overhyped it, and you didn't.
Yeah.
Then you
overhyped it.
Yeah. Although you did say it's like almost as good as Evil Dead Rise or whatever. And I was like, all right. So he brought it down a level for me.
Well, in terms of the movie, you might have it on about the same par.
Right. But the opening, I would say the opening to this is better than Evil Dead Rise. Evil Dead Rise is good, but I don't think it's as long or as dynamic.
No, true.
Right.
True.
It is nice. It's 3D. You're going down the river. You got the drone and everything. That is nice. But this is way more dynamic. There's, you have bass, you have pans of bass. It's like,
you do. Yes.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So
it's great. But as I said, make sure you carry on with it, Deej, because
I will.
within
I was kind of intrigued
order,
with the movie. Yeah. By the time I stopped.
Within short order, when you just remember the word spider. Okay, spider is all I'm going to say.
Okay,
you'll know it when you see it.
That's dangerous. I have a friend named Spider.
But she's
a woman.
Just keep going with it. It's only an hour and 40 minutes, so it's not long either. So it's a short movie, but it's
hour 40. Yeah,
film's crap, but the HT experience is awesome, and you're going to love it. You're going to just be raving about the technical aspects of it. Are second to none. They really are. It's great. So highly recommend it.
Yep. And is that everybody good for this week?
Mm-hmm.
I know Steve has plenty left.
Oh yeah, but I've got a long day tomorrow.
But we'll go with this one and tease this out for next week, because will you have this one done for next week?
Yes, Saturday I should have it, so I should watch it same day.
All right, so coming next week, we're talking Tombstone 4K DTS Master Audio. That supposedly it's a different version than the Blu-ray, toned down a little bit. I saw Ralph Potts review of it, and he said it's dropped down a little, maybe you pop it back up. I didn't find that. I read his a little bit after. I read a little of his after I watched. I've seen about a third of this so far today, and it's funny. I read Ralph's review, and I agree with everything he said. I came at it from a different perspective. He actually compared it to the Blu-ray. I didn't do that. The 4K on this, and we'll elaborate on it next week, but we're getting so many remasters now that it gets easier. You don't necessarily, I found myself, I didn't have to go back to the Blu-ray. A good one from a bad one, right? Yeah. And you watch it and you see it, and if you're not taken out of it and going, oh, I kind of don't like this, all right, we're in for a treat, right? And there's a couple of scenes that, like I said, we'll elaborate next week, but Val Kilmer and the makeup job on him and what I've seen so far is it's never looked that good. It's never, you've never seen it with that much detail, I should say. Okay. Yeah. It is really good. The colors, and I know when you see it, I know the scene you're going to talk about probably first regarding the colors. It comes up fairly early. It just pop. and
Great.
I'm not talking about the red sashes; those do pop. But there is a scene that you're like, I've never seen that look that good ever. I've never, because now I won't get it out of my head. And when we talk about it next week, I'll be like, oh yeah, it's like, I mean, it is just vibrant. It's ridiculous. So, but yeah, you know, the opening scene when they're standing in the window, looking at themselves at the beginning, the clarity on that. I thought it looked good before. I remember I did this as a standalone or for the show, and the clarity on that now, gorgeous. So I'm really looking forward to finishing it. And it's, I mean, the quotes next week. It's just, oh my God, this movie's so quotable, and the stuff it's like, you just gotta stand there and bleed. It's like, oh my God, love this movie.
It's so good.
So,
I mean, I can't wait
for next week.
On Saturday, I should have Tombstone and Dirty Harry, both in 4K. I'll be watching them both back to back.
Nice.
Two of my favorite films. So yeah. Can't wait. Cannot wait.
Yeah, this one here, because it is Disney. So for me to upgrade, I owned it in HD, but it was $18 to upgrade. So
It's not bad at all.
no, not bad. Some of them, like I've been doing, like a $4. So if you already own it, it's kind of like the the disc to digital that they offer, and some of them you get them for $4. You know, you get I already own the Blu-ray, and they'll give you the 4K for $4. Disney's usually around $18, $20, which is cheaper than what you would buy if you didn't own the disc. So this was $18 to upgrade to the 4K with Dolby Vision and everything. But yeah, really, really good. So looking forward to talking about that one next week. Look at us teasing out next week's show.
Mm-hmm.
And
Coming
again,
soon.
don't forget, on Tuesday next week, Takeover Tuesday with Ara and Braden. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to you guys hearing that one too. I can't believe they've been doing that 20 years. They've been doing this 20 years. Crazy. So, imagine that, John, when we get to 20 years.
Oh yeah. Can't wait.
Well, nobody sets out to hit 20 years. You just get there. And that's kind of what they were saying. Like, we didn't plan
hope
it.
I live that long.
Yeah. John and I didn't plan on going this long.
No.
There was no end date, but you just keep on going. There you go. So, but yeah. And Steve, I don't know. You're the youngest of the bunch.
Yeah,
You're
the young whippersnapper.
You're going to have to carry on after, we're out to pass.
After we
in
hit
your
the deck.
legacy. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And then you can, after we go out to pasture, you can do things right.
I still won't remember the ending.
Yeah.
Have to dial you in from the nursing home, Deej.
Yeah, I'll give you some cue cards.
Yeah.
I'll give you a few cue cards. But all right, let's get out of here. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for the chat, lively chat. Thanks, Slay Dancer. Back in the chat with a different name. Hey, gets our numbers up. Hey, a new listener.
I want to know how she knows it's a horror film. She a bit young for that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Speaking of which, I looked at we just started on the new program, John, the new podcast program. Over 10,000 we just blew through 10,000 downloads.
Awesome.
It's like, hasn't been a month. And it's like, so that's good for us. Good for us. We're doing well. I think we are up to 30 countries. If not, I think we're at 29 countries. Every day I check. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, grabbed another country. I mean, we've got pretty much all of Europe. I think we're missing Belgium.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, I'll pop over there and have a waffle, and while I'm there,
what I was going to say is, anybody that's on Spotify anywhere around the world, and if your country isn't represented, just pop on to something else and click and download, and we'll get that country. Because Spotify doesn't. There's a few that don't list that we don't get credit for, but Spotify is.
I mean, I have a VPN. I can make sure we're in every country.
That's true. There you go. Oh man, you're ruining it for me. Is that you, John?
No, it's not me.
Honestly,
do you think I did that?
No.
Knowing me,
yeah,
like you do.
Yep. But yeah, it's going well, having fun. But yes, patrons, thank you very much. And anybody interested, if everybody around the world listening to the show gave us $1, we could all just do this full time. Look at that. And but yeah, so And again, no Patreon chat afterwards. I will get back to it, I promise. Just lots going on. And let's see, what else, John? What else should I say?
I don't know.
I don't know. All right, let's get out of here. Everybody, thank you very much. Thanks for listening. Until next time, you know what you got to do.
Go push play.
What he said.
That's right.
Hey, Fred.
This has been a Hey Fred production with theme music by Jeff Bernhardt and Throne Vault Productions.